It is 3 o'clock in the morning and feels like it's 80 degrees in here. So let's begin. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be creating a system that pulls up a menu when you hit a button, and when you click on the tower in that menu, it's going to spawn the ghost of that tower, and then when you hit another button, it's going to spawn the tower. So let's get started by first, I'm just going to delete this thing because we're going to spawn it. And I'm going to go in here. I'm going to create the HUD first for this. So I'm going to create a widget blueprint. User widget. Select go widget blueprint underscore tower builder. Sure. Let's get a canvas. Canvas. Drag that on. Let's get an image. I'm just using the image for a white background. So let me anchor this to the center. Zero out that. 0.5 this, so it's actually in the center. And then I'm gonna make this like, I don't know, 900, 1,000. That's not 1,000. 1,000. All right, 1,000 and like 900 because it's shorter up top. Cool. And I'm just gonna compass this a bit. There you go. Okay, so that's that. So then we need buttons. So I'm gonna get one button, I'm gonna drag it on here and make this size X 100 and Y 100. We're gonna need two of these buttons. So let me just paste another one. Control V. I can actually just copy its x-axis. Its y-axis. That's actually what I want. All right, so it's pretty, I mean, it is even, at least on the y-axis. Let's create, well, let me call these things. Let me first just set up the widget a bit. All right. That works. Something like that. Okay. Now, I already have images, so I will show you how to do that. I will show you the images right now, how I got them. Go to cutaway scene. Yeah, I just looked up PNG turret icon and got turret icons. All right, back to that idiot. All right, welcome back. Let's see, where are my towers? There they are. Okay, so I'm gonna drag both of these into my folder here. So drag both of them. I'm just gonna make this one. Okay. Yeah, if you drag it directly into there, it makes it super small for whatever reason. So if I go into style, normal, you have this image right here, drag it right in there. and that's going to be my magic turret, and the other one is going to be my meteor turret. So I'm going to name this magic turret, and I'm going to name this meteor turret. So I did that. Now let's do the on click thing. So on clicked is the one we want. It's going to pull us over to here, and you see it says on clicked magic turret. That's the one that we want. Let's delete these, and they should have an initialized option for an event, and they do. So we want to use that initialized option for third person character, which it sometimes does this. It does this when I create a copy of the thing, because I create copies to make sure I don't mess anything up. So every time I create a copy, it does this thing where it doesn't load the actual, some of the blueprints. So you just have to go into the blueprints and it'll load, and now I can use third person character as a casting option. Get player character off this. Get player character. We're going to promote this to a variable because we're going to use this a lot. And we're going to set the visibility of the actual widget blueprint to hidden starting off. Because when you start the game, you don't want to be seeing this build menu. So now that we have that, we're going to have certain things in this that are going to be connected to both the magic turret and the meteor turret. So we want to create a custom event that they both call, so you don't have to do it twice. I'm just going to call it like set up turret. Sure. All right. We're calling it setup turret. There's a lot of variables I don't have yet because I need to create them still. For this on clicked magic turret, I also don't have a lot of variables for that. So wait, actually, let me just grab this real quick. So on clicked, so we have both of them. And we're gonna leave those alone for a second. So let's go back to, I don't know why I closed third person character. Let's go back to third person character. Specifically, we're going to go to this IA build mode thing because we're no longer going to have an input action for build mode. It's instead going to be a button. So I'm just going to alt click here. I'm going to get rid of this flip-flop thing. I'm going to use some of this stuff. Let's see. So for the build mode itself, which isn't going to be the build mode anymore, it's going to be the menu. On triggered, you want to actually not do that because I don't actually have this thing set up yet. So create widget blueprint, create widget. So we want to create the widget, and it's going to be the widget we just created, which is the tower builder. Now we want to promote this to a variable because we're going to use this, and we can call it whatever the heck we want. Let's just call it widget blueprint underscore tower builder. So we have it. Then we need to add it to the viewport. And it's added to the viewport. All right, so now that we have it, we can actually utilize this now. So we can drag off here, get this, and then we're going to drag off this, and we are just going to set the visibility. Set visibility of the widget to visible because your build menu is now on. And we also want to be able to click it. In order to click it, we need to enable the mouse to move around. So in order to do that, you just get player controller. We're going to drag off of this, and we are going to set the mouse set show mouse cursor, yes, and we're going to check that to yes because we want the mouse to be there. We want to be able to mess with it, mess with the screen with our mouse. So we have that. We need to add a new variable here because I'll show you in a second. So this new variable is going to be called build menu question mark. So is the build menu active? Yes. When we hit this button, we want the build menu to be open. So now what do? We go to what do I want to tackle first? So I could mess with all this stuff. I should mess with this stuff. I have it just hanging here. So I'm going to delete this because we no longer call build mode from this. We're going to call it from the other thing. We're going to call it from the widget blueprint. So we're going to drag this up here. Let's make some space. The event tick should stay the same for the most part. And this is going to be where we get the custom event for building the ghost. Build ghost. Okay. And we only have one ghost at the moment, so it doesn't really matter for us, but if you wanted to add different ghosts, you just promote this to a variable. We'll call this turret ghost, F2, turret ghost. And the ghost is that green thing. I don't know if I called it a ghost earlier. So so it disconnected this because this is no longer what the turret build is. So what I need to do is I need to replace the references for this. So I need to promote this and F2 turret build. And I'm just going to delete these and replace them with this new turret build. And I think there's another one down here. It's going to be a turret build for destroying the actor. And I also need a turret build for the transform. And is that it? I think so. So let's see if I can just delete this turret build without any issues. Okay, that tells me that there is no other references having to deal with it. So we should be good on that. All right, all this should be the same besides that, so that's fine. This should be fine. All right, so what I need to do with this stuff, which I'm going to keep this, is I need to create another option, and that is canceling the building setup thing. So I'm going to create a new input action for that. Target must have a connection. My bad. All right. Let's go into the input actions. Third person input actions. We're going to be creating a new input action. Input action, we're going to call it IA underscore cancel build. Cancel build. And save that because we don't do anything in here. Input IMC defaults. And then I'm going to add a new mapping for this. And that is going to be the cancel build. So let me add the key here, and I'm just going to call it X. X for cancel. I don't know, this sounds right to me. Let's see. So we did that. So now we can actually utilize it. So IA underscore cancel build, this one. And then we want to go over here, trigger, wait, okay. So I wanted to do a couple things. So if it is in build mode, so let me do a branch here, and I want to check the condition if it is in, okay, not that, if it is in build mode. If that's true, then I want to get rid of it. I want to stop it from being in build mode, and I want to destroy the actor for the turret build. But if it is not in build mode, then I'm canceling it out of the menu. So I want to set the visibility. I keep doing that. I need to grab this first. I need to set the visibility of the actual widget itself to being no longer visible. How should I? It's fine. All right. So we want it to be hidden, no longer visible. So we have that, and then what else do we have in that menu? We have the cursor. So we want to get the player controller. Get player controller. This is so close to me. Why? I could actually move this up. All right. We got the player controller. We want to set the mouse, I don't remember what it is, set show mouse cursor to no longer being shown, and then we no longer want it to be in the build menu, the variable we created. So it's no longer in either of those things. So compile and save it. All right. So we have that. The next thing we can do is we can go up to here. Let me drag everything down here. All right. I am terrible with organization. So let me take one step toward it's actually being organized. Highlight the whole thing, press C, creates a comment. I'm going to call it shooting, because that's what it does. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add some pins and add a couple more conditions when it comes to if you're able to shoot. And those couple of conditions are going to be whether they are in the build mode and whether they are in the build menu. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a not Boolean for both of them. That is a bot. Not Boolean. I could have just Control-D'd this and duplicated it, but I like to do things the hard way. All right. So I'm going to drag these in here, and now it makes sure that it has neither of these conditions, so you're not able to shoot in the menu or while you're placing a turret. And that's all that does. So let's actually go into the widget blueprint itself and start adding some of these variables that I now have. So let's get this as third person character. And I'm going to get some of the variables we have. So the first thing I kind of want to grab is the build ghost, because they're both going to need to build the ghost. And what else do they both need to do? They both need to set the build mode so that the tick starts going to checked. So now we've set the build mode, we have the build ghost, we want to set the visibility to hidden because we no longer want to see it because we're in the build mode now. Then we want to mouse cursor and then exit the build menu. So let's get the player controller, get the mouse, show mouse, is it? Show, well, it's like set show mouse cursor there. Set show mouse cursor, no longer showing it. And then we want to grab here again, and we want to get the build, is it build? Menu, yeah. I meant set. Set build menu. Okay, set build menu. So all that should be the same for both of these. Now, what do these have different? So what they're going to have different is just going to be the variables on them. Oh, wait, I still haven't done that. So if you go into here, your third person character, we set the turret ghost, but we did not set the turret. So promote that to a variable. And that's going to be turret, and yes, cool. Cool, simple. All right, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to get this. I'm going to duplicate it right down here. And I'm going to set turret, and I'm going to set the ghost. In our circumstance, we only have one ghost right now, but if you had multiple different types of ghosts, like you just turn all your whatever you're spawning green, and that same hue and transparency I had for the other ghosts we created, and then you could set them as your new ghost. So turret ghost. Mine are going to be the same though. So, what did I call it? Oh shoot. BP build turret, I'm pretty sure that's it. If it's not, then whatever. It'll be messed up. And then I'll have to fix it. Alright, so setup, and then you want to call, after the fact, you want to call setup turret. And I can just copy this and paste it right here. Did I not press C? I didn't press Control C. V. Okay. Cool. This build turret's going to stay the same. I didn't set the class for either one of these. This is going to be BP. Is it still called turret? I meant to rename that to magic turret at some point, and I just didn't do it. Alright, so this is going to be BP meteor turret. BP meteor turret. Alright. So all that should be good. Cool. It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna go to input actions. I'm just gonna rename this to menu instead of mode, just so I don't get confused. All right, let me close that. And I think that should be good. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna hit B. Oh, well, let me go X. I don't have any money. All right, I got $9. Not enough for anything. Oh. I have that super long delay on these enemies for whatever reason. All right, so now I should be able to spawn one of each. So let me first spawn this one. Okay, so I can spawn it. Press E. Okay, I spawned that. Now I'm going to X. Press B again. Spawn this one. Boom. And I have both my turrets. And that's what I was trying to do. So, awesome. All right, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm super tired. All right. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.